and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
What day is it?
Today is May 4th, which means
You must face Darth Vader again.
Star Wars Day. Nerd alert. Nerd alert. May 4th.
It's Star Wars.
Hey guys, happy Star Wars Day.
Okay, my friends,
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
it's showtime.
Good morning, Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Wow. Got a frog in my throat this morning. Maybe it's an Ewok or something. I don't know. It's May the 4th. You're listening to Mornings with the LeaderMan, and I'm Dorothy, and I'm taking over his seat again this week. He is out recovering from back surgery. This hour I've got in the studio with me, of course, Jeff Drummond. Good morning, Jeff.
Hey, good morning, Moore County. Good morning, taxpayer-subsidized pilot. Hey, it's a nice day out there, so get outside, enjoy
Before the rain starts.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe it is going to rain.
I
but
say it's supposed to be uglier later with the weather, but now it's pretty nice.
yeah, so get outside, take yourself a walk, kill some COVID, because being out in the sun kills COVID. Breathing through a mask doesn't kill COVID. Leave that thing behind if you haven't already, because I see more and more people who have figured it out and understand that, we're being scammed. So leave that thing at home and enjoy your day.
And I also still have with me this week, he's braved another day to come back and spend the morning with me, John Zumwalt. Morning, John.
Well, good morning, Dorothy. The way you introduce Jeff, it always sounds so wonderful. When you introduce me, it makes it sound like you.
What? I said you were brave. You decided to come in here.
I can't get a word in. Here, see. You make it sound like you've got to scrape something off your shoe.
No.
In order for me not to.
I was trying to give you a compliment, saying you were brave to come in here and sit next to me and.
You know that takes no bravery. You know how wonderful you are.
Yeah, right. I should have worn my boots today.
You got to think of a new line.
What? It's May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. Nerd alert. I'll just go back to the Star Wars music.
Okay.
Although now that song will be stuck in my head for the rest of the day. It only takes about 3 notes and it's there. So, no Star Wars marathons for me today. How about you, John?
One of my favorite shows on TV is Everybody Loves Raymond. And here, everybody loves Dorothy. But I'm like the older brother on Raymond. Nobody likes John. It's so hurtful. I come in here and you and the Colonel are talking, and all of a sudden you quit talking. I know what's going on. I know exactly what's happening.
We're plotting against you, that's all.
And by the way, we got to keep mentioning LeaderMan. Hope he's doing well. Folks have tuned in here every day, hoping to hear him, and he's not back yet, but he will be back probably Monday, right, Dorothy?
Yeah, put it this way. I'll just whip out my bullwhip and whack him in and get him back over here Monday morning if I can, because I don't know if I can keep getting up this early in the morning. The quality of the show is going downhill real fast with my lack of sleep.
If it's going downhill at all, I'm the most likely culprit, because the Colonel's in here every day, and you're at the station, so it'd be me. We need to get the LeaderMan back and faithful sidekick, the Colonel.
Yeah, we don't want him to think we're going to take over for him, so we need to encourage him to come back over here. He was wondering if I was trying to take over his show when I spoke to him yesterday, and I assured him I am not taking over his show.
Well, when he reads the emails that criticize, he'll know.
I'm not sure those emails.
I say those emails he never sees. I get to see his email before he does right now, so I can get rid of all of those bad.
I actually got an email now. Folks aren't going to probably believe this, but I actually got an email talking about what a good job Steve does and how much he's missed, and it was signed Colt the dog, so he's ready to come back.
Oh, yeah. Colt wants to come back over here. I'm sure he does. He misses seeing you guys.
You know what? I came in here this morning and put my blank notebook down and whipped out a bunch of notes in about, 20 minutes, you think?
Yeah, give or take.
But Jeff said something about maybe 45 seconds before we went on air. He said, "Pardon me," and what was that about, Jeff? No, he said something I thought interesting that I didn't know. He said, "Oh wow, Florida's opened up." No more.
Yeah, I just read that.
Can you talk about that a second?
Well, just Governor DeSantis. I mean, I just looked at the headline and read a couple of lines, and he basically said Florida's done with COVID, and all the mandates are gone. From the state level, he says no more, and he also superseded any local mandates. So, if Broward County there or Tampa, had something specific for them, he just said nope, no more. We're not playing COVID in Florida anymore.
The way you said that, the movie Lonesome Dove, have y'all ever seen Lonesome Dove? You remember the part where they're pinned down behind a horse and they're shooting at, I can't remember, I think it was Gus. And finally he said, "That is enough, that is enough." And he gets that, you remember that? Gets that sniper rifle out.
Yeah.
Well, DeSantis said, "That is enough, that is enough." And they're just finally had it, and I'm so glad. I'm so sick of this stuff.
Yeah, no passports. He just the whole schmear. COVID. Hey, we're done with COVID here in Florida. No more.
But you know what gets me is we've had several things here in Moore County, going all the way back to when everyone canceled their Christmas parade, except Robbins.
Right.
And went out there and nope, very, very, very few masks. We've talked about this so much, and then we had. Some other event, I forget what it was, and we've had the Ronald Reagan dinner, which was wall-to-wall people and not many masks, frankly, one or two. And then we had the dog fair in Aberdeen last week or two, and it was wonderful. I mean, people loved it. It was nice and sunshiny, crowded, packed, no outbreak. I mean, just one after another event. These things just are not happening that they're predicting, so it's good.
Well, the one thing that struck me, another article, and I didn't write down the references, but the 30 million flu cases from 2 years ago, where did they all go?
Where did they go?
Because flu this year was counted in numbers less than 100,000. Less than 100,000 flu cases from 30 million flu cases the year before by the CDC. That's on the CDC website. And, it's just kind of something's not adding up.
One day we'll know the truth, I hope. Well, you know what I wanted to talk about this morning? David Hensley will be in at 8:30 for the Hensley Report. I think the Hensley Report is a great venue for people to get the news on what is actually happening within the school board. And it can get contentious from time to time. That's probably the most understated statement I've ever made, and I've made so. But I think most people will agree that yesterday's 8-hour-long meeting was productive, and especially if you listen to the comments at the end by the school board members. But it wasn't perfect. And I think David's probably going to comment on quite a few of the things that went well, the budget and things like that. But I want to just point out a few things that I thought were not all that great, and then a couple that were that great by people I think that you'll be surprised to hear me talk about. I remember I couldn't help but think about it towards the end there when Bill Clinton, a long time ago. Some of you don't even know who Bill Clinton is, but those of you who do just think he's just an old man who flies around on an airplane with little girls. But he used to be the president. And he was in a lot of trouble just about all the time, and always just about for the same thing. And one day he gave a speech in which he kind of admitted everything, and he bit his lower lip, and he was, "I'm sorry, and it's time to get on with the business of the nation," and on and so on and so forth. And just about every commentator on television came out and talked about what a wonderful speech that was, and what a heartfelt man, and how they hoped he would continue this, and what a great leader and all. Except I think I saw one, and I don't even remember what station he was with, and he said, we've seen these things many times throughout history. A good politician, a man who knows what he was doing, will come out and say just the right thing, and he'll have the world eating out of his hand. And I couldn't help but think about that yesterday, and I want to talk about that a little bit. Let's jump to the end of the school board, and we'll come back to some of the things that happened. But the board chairperson, Libby Carter, allowed Levy, Commissioner Levy, to have his choice. She said, we're going to go around the room. We're going to do our usual comments that you can comment. And Bob, since you were kind of the subject of controversy last week, we'll give you your choice. You can either go first or we'll go in alphabetical order. And he said, I'd like to go first. And to Bob's credit, he did something I don't think that many people expected him to do. I think that most folks thought that Bob would take that time and talk about how he was wrong last week or last meeting, and use it to complain and try to get even, or if you will, and try to get folks on his side. But he didn't. He said, look, we need to move on, we need to move forward. We've got a lot to do. And every second that we spent fussing and fighting, we're taking away time from the kids, the children. So we need to start concentrating on that. Now, a couple of people have commented a couple of times about horrible things that are said in the meetings and in the pilot and on the radio. It seems that folks are tired of hearing things said on the radio. Let me say this for I don't know how many times now. Come on the radio. Commissioners, county, school, anyone that we've criticized, the pilot, come on the radio. Come on the radio with us, and we can speak about these things like adults. But you're not getting a free pass. You've made a lot of votes over the last 2 or 3 years where I don't think can be explained away. I think they're very fishy. I think that some folks' heads would fall if these things came to light, and those are the kind of things I want to ask you about. So if you think the accusations that we've made on here concerning some of the shady deals that have gone, let me say that again, concerning some of the things that appear very much to be shady deals, that you feel like you can explain them away, well, please do. Please come on, because we're really I am getting tired of hearing you talk about the hurtful things on the radio and then not come on and defend them. Now, I got that out of the way. Chairperson Carter then gave the others a chance to speak. And David Hensley said a few things about conducting business and, working together. And some of the others did. And it got to Pam Thompson. And Pam said something about, I agree with everyone. I think it's nice that we had a productive meeting and that we all got to work together. And I just want to thank everyone, and I hope we can continue this way. Words to that effect. And I'll come back to her statement because I thought it was pretty pathetic. And then it came time for Chair Carter. And I didn't know what she was going to say, but I think she knew. I think she knew because I think she had been reflecting. And like Bob, I think that like Bob Levy, I think she had a very sincere little bout with trying to figure out what had gone wrong. And I think that her comments were very sincere. I think they were from the heart. And she's kind of said the same thing. But she went a step further. She said, and she got a little emotional, big deal. I get emotional sometimes too. I'm not going to hold that against her one bit. But she said, sometimes we allow our I don't remember how she worded it, folks, but here's the way I took it. We allow our anger, our tempers, our past, whatever, to get away from us. We say things we shouldn't say. I've done that, and we do that, and we shouldn't do it. But she went even a step further, and she said, I apologize. And she mentioned something about her poor leadership. And which the way that I took that was that she is saying to us, I don't think that I did a good job leading last week, but I will do a better job, and I think I can, and I'll get things under control. And I believe her. I happen to believe her. I think I doubt if we've ever said 2 words about each other when she goes out to eat with her friends or talks about me, and certainly I don't speak that highly of her on the radio. I don't think we've probably ever said two good words about each other, but I'm going to give her credit for this. I think she's a stronger lady. She's just never been a chairperson before on such a complicated board, one that requires so much. There are so many different personalities on here, and they have been led by the hand by Bob Grimacy, the worst superintendent, in my opinion, in North Carolina. A person who can't even talk about himself as, hey, I'm going over here. I picture him when he goes to the movie theater. He probably says, yes, the superintendent would like 2 tickets, and the superintendent's son would like 1. And come on, just talk English, Bob. You know who you're dealing with here? We are regular people. You don't have to speak like that. But that's a kind of a side note. I want to say, hey, Libby, you've got. I mean, I think you should have everyone's support right now, and you're pledged to work and go ahead with everything. And I don't know what. I don't have any idea what the David Hensley will say when he comes on. He may have a different perspective, and if he does, trust his. He's a school board member. He knows what's going on. I'm on the outside looking in. Pam Thompson, you talked about how you'd like to see things change and people work together. I thought your little talk was pathetic. Do you even realize, ma'am, do you have any idea that you're the one that started all this by bringing up an accusation that you had no basis for, one that you had no first-hand knowledge of, in fact, one that you just heard someone say that they heard, and they, according to your little thing, that they sent you no documentation for it. So, Ms. Thompson, I think that you should give a thing similar to Bob Levy and similar to Chairperson Carter. I think you should tell people, look, I don't know what the heck I was thinking of. This is the most ridiculous thing that's ever been done on the board, bringing up something for no reason whatsoever and accusing someone of it and then being shocked when they were upset. You're the one who got Libby Carter, and I call her Libby not out of disrespect. It's just easier than to say chairperson every single time. I don't want to sound like Bob Grimacy. I think you're the one who got her in that fix, and shame on you for doing it. Now, I would like to say a word about Stacy Caldwell. Stacy Caldwell is probably the one person on the board that I feel the closest to is in terms of friendship or knowing. And I think that Stacy somehow has gotten the wrong idea about her value on this board. She ran for re-election, and she won. Out of 4, she's the only one that won. And I think that she kind of took it the wrong way. Stacy never had a serious contender. The Republican Party not only did not go after her, but indeed they backed her because she's a Republican and she was the only one. Stacy, I think that you were just as your votes, even though I like you, your votes were terrible, but I had chalked it up and I had told people in the party that, and anyone who would listen to me, that no, Stacy's just been misled by Bob Grimacy, and when she gets some good leadership on there, her votes will start making more sense, and she'll start voting. Once she sees the logic behind all this, she'll see what the most wise course is. Well, I don't think you did. I don't think you have. You made a remark yesterday that I just couldn't believe you made, and I hated hearing those words come out of your mouth. Bob Levy was questioning Catherine. My mind's going to go blank. I knew it was going to sooner or later. The operations officer for the schools. I'll think of it in a minute. I'm sorry, Catherine. I mean no disrespect by not being able to remember your name. Bob Levy was asking questions about Catherine Murphy. I knew it would come to me. Catherine Murphy, about how she did her job and different things and where she put her time into. And Stacy, you interrupted Bob, and you said, why are you asking these questions? We hire these people. Shouldn't we trust them to do what's right? Shouldn't we? And then you went on, and then I'll tell you what you said after that. But Stacy, no. I don't care how much you trust them, how much you like them. They were elected all of you were elected, to check on everyone, to check on every dime. I'd hate to think that you would hire me and say, okay, let's pay him this salary, but never ask him anything, because he's super smart and he's going to do it. Well, I know what you're thinking, Stacy, but Catherine deserved to be asked those questions because she's an employee, not because anyone hates her, and because she's the fiance of the editor of the Pilot. And that means that we've got some reason to wonder if we're always getting the information that we want to get out of the schools into the paper. And again, Catherine, I've invited you on here and your buddies and your bosses to come on here and talk about that. But at any rate, I don't see how you got off interrupting Bob Levy or anyone else on that school board when they're in the midst of trying to determine how she does her job and figure things out. When everyone had given their closing statement, I guess if I had to give a kudo away, and I don't give them away because probably no one could give a hoot less about having a kudo from me, but I got to admit, I got a kick out of Sleepy Ed. Sleepy Ed was raising his hand, and Chairman Carter said, did you have something you wanted to say, Sleepy Ed? Oh, but she didn't call him Sleepy Ed. I think she meant to, but she didn't. Anyway, he said, move we adjourn. And I got to tell you, it was my impression that Sleepy Ed did that on purpose, because I made so much fun of him about making the motion to adjourn. And if he did, I'll give him a lot of credit for that. He showed he had a sense of humor, and I for one appreciated it. But again, going back to Libby Carter, I really did appreciate what you had to say yesterday, and I really believe that you meant it. I don't think you're trying to fool anyone. Get back to Stacy Caldwell. Stacy, after you got through questioning Bob on why in the world he would dare to question Catherine Murphy, you said this: I've got things to do. I want to go home. I wish you wouldn't have said that. You know, I saw you and I saw all the others campaigning, the ones who lost and the ones who won. I saw you out there every day, most of you, all day long, for days. Remember how long this campaign was? I saw you raising money. I'm sure it cost you money, for hours and hours and hours a day. And I didn't hear anyone say, you know, I'll be glad when this is over so I won't have to do another thing. I think that everyone in this community owes, and I do mean owes, the commissioners and the school board members a huge debt of gratitude because of the hours you put in. And I think about it. I know that when you're before that board is not the only time that you're working for us, and you do work for us. But if you're not willing to stay for these long meetings that got so much done according to every one of you yesterday, that accomplished a lot. If you're not willing to stay for those, I think you should just get up and go home. I don't think you should tell everyone. I think you should just say, okay, I've had enough of this, and go home. And because I thought it was hurtful to you and to everyone for you to say that you wanted to go home. Let me see here where I'm at. I want to, talking without really looking at my notes, I want to see what I can get here. She asked Bob if Stacy did, if he was really worried about the money that Catherine was spending. Well, yes, he should be. Every day he should be worried about it. Pam, I guess before I let up on you, you come across as a very sweet and a very kind woman, and I've always liked you, and I've just always thought a lot of you. But I just want to remind you, it'd be nice to see a little humility out of you this time, and that you were the one who started this, and it didn't seem, and it doesn't seem like you even realize it. So I just hope that we actually do move ahead. I hope you'll listen to the Hensley report at 8:30. It'll be him and Dorothy and the Colonel, and you'll find out a lot more. I think it's going to be pretty positive, but I don't know. But I imagine it will be, to find out what's going on. But it sounded like we took a step closer yesterday. It would have been almost perfect if a couple of the old holdouts would have just been able to make themselves be a little bit more humble. And Bob Levy, you did an amazing thing as well. You had no one. I think you probably had 99% of the county with you. No one would have blamed you for taking a shot. No one would have blamed you for saying I didn't get a chance to say what I wanted to say. No one would have blamed you for any of that. And you chose not to do it. You chose to take what the high road, as folks say. And so I'm going to take it with you. I'm not going to, which I would like to not do. I would like to go back and just hammer that thing to death, but I'm not going to do it. I just want to say that I think under by you setting the example and by Libby Carter setting the example, things probably will go a little better. I'm going to be a little disappointed if you guys don't argue sometimes, though. Remember, these three guys are questioning everything. Yes, every nickel, every dime. That's what we hired them to do.
Yeah, well, you know, the legacy board there, they need to realize that change is coming. Nobody likes change for the most part. I, did 30 years in the Marine Corps, and we had some significant changes throughout my career. And, yeah, some of them were great. Some of them were absolutely necessary. Some of them I absolutely detested. But, you don't get a choice when the public hands you 3 new people on your board, and it's evident that they are not going to be in lockstep with what you've been doing here. So you need to work with it, and that's all there is to it. Just like we did in the military, John, I know you must have had quite a few changes over the years, and you integrate, you accept them. You may not like them, but you're going to have to deal with it, and that's all there is to it.
Yep, I'll never forget when we got rid of the horses.
Yeah, well, yeah. For all you old mule skinners, that was tough for you guys. You had to find a new job. You had to crawl under those Jeeps and change oil.
Well, I think that most military guys would probably agree that the biggest problem any military has is they're colonels.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're a problem.
That probably wasn't near as funny as I thought it was going to be.
They were a problem to me until I made colonel.
When I thought of that, I thought it was going to really be funny, but when it came out, it wasn't very funny. So that happens all the time to me.
Mine were usually senior staff NCOs that weren't going to do what they were told to do.
They were weak. They should have locked you in a closet. Listen, have you either one of y'all seen the new CIA recruiting video?
I saw the article. I didn't watch it. I didn't want to.
It's absolutely. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know if I have a vocabulary word in my vocabulary.
Is it that good? I said, is it that good?
Well, I only have about 8 words anyway. I use them over and over. But it's a girl, Latino, and I guess I should say she's a woman. But that may offend her. Who the heck knows? But she's. I would like to see a CIA recruiting video say, "We'll teach you how to kill the people who want to kill Americans. We're going to show you what you need to do to out these communists. Yeah. We're going to teach you skills." But no, it's like, "Hi, everyone. I'm intersexual. I'm cisgender, millennial. I used to suffer from imposter syndrome because she's a woman." Did you ever suffer from imposter syndrome? Colonel?
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, I can tell you.
I'm suffering now. I can tell you.
I've never suffered from imposter syndrome ever, because I was always from the time I don't know yet, that's time Dorothy just held up one finger left. 1 minute.
1 minute left.
She's giving you a sign, is she?
Yeah, I thought she told me at the age of 1 I've always known I was a man. But that's what I was talking about. But anyway, so I don't know. I kind of got off on that school thing. That really wasn't what I intended to talk about. There's a really good documentary, another one on Amazon. It's about the Aborigine people who were caught in the 50s or 60s out in the middle of the desert. No one even knew they lived there. No one knew they were there.
Which desert? Here in America?
In Australia.
Australia, okay.
Yeah.
And they were firing a rocket, and the debris was going to land there, and they were trying to find them to get rid of, and the Aborigines were running.
Right.
And not get rid of them, to move them. So it's pretty good movie. If you get a chance,
Yeah,
you
you
watch.
slipped there.
I like documentaries a lot. Thanks everybody
Late
for
afternoon
listening.
and early evening storms will be possible, and some of those could be strong to severe, bringing damaging wind speeds and hail. We are likely to see high temperatures head into the upper 80s and lower 90s today. Lingering showers possible tonight, with temperatures dipping into the upper 60s and lower 70s. Tomorrow is going to be a warm one with highs in the low to mid 80s. A few afternoon storms cannot be ruled out. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Broadcasting from the top of the North Carolina Sandhills, 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB, Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The death toll is 23, and it could rise in a light rail disaster in Mexico City where
Mayor Claudia Scheinbaum says a support beam gave way just as the train passed over it. The overpass is 16 feet above the road. The train split in two, with one part left dangling off the overpass, a crane holding it up, the other part of the subway under rubble on the roadway, along with at least one car. The mayor told the news media at the scene people could still be trapped inside.
correspondent Julie Walker.
She says some of those killed were children, and at least 7 of the injured were in serious condition, with another 49 taken to the hospital.
A section of the metro that collapsed was built within the past 10 years. The number of refugees allowed into the U.S. is about to increase fourfold. President Biden raising the ceiling.
Biden said the new limit erases the historically low number set by the previous administration. However, Biden called it a sad truth that the cap of 62,500 refugees will not be met by the end of the fiscal year in September. Biden plans on setting the refugee cap at 125,000 for the 2022 fiscal year.
That's correspondent Mike Gracia. Roll up your sleeve, Junior. The FDA expected to clear the Pfizer COVID vaccine for children ages 12 to 15 by next week. The American Federation of Teachers reportedly played a major role in formulation of the Centers for Disease Control's school reopening guidelines that were issued back in February. That's according to reports from multiple media outlets based on emails between the union, the CDC, and the White House. Stock futures falling deeper into the red on Wall Street. Right now, Dow futures down 92 points. NASDAQ futures off 98. S&P futures down 16 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Tell me why Relief Factor is so successful in lowering or eliminating pain. I'm often asked that question. Pete and Seth Talbot, the father and son founders of Relief Factor, tell me they believe our bodies were designed to heal. The doctors who formulated Relief Factor selected the 4 best ingredients, 100% drug-free ingredients that each help your body deal with inflammation. Order the 3-week quick start now. Discount it to only $19.95 to see if it will work for you too. Call 800-500-8384. ReliefFactor.com.
The world says to man up. What does God say? To be a man and rise up in society, you can't leave God on the sidelines. It requires showing up, being present, standing up, speaking truth. In his powerful and long-awaited sequel to the instant bestseller Kingdom Man, Tony Evans' Kingdom Men Rising challenges men to rise up for what they believe in. Kingdom Men, we must rise. Find out more at tonyevans.org.
New from Tony Evans, sponsored by the Urban Alternative.
Foreign ministers from the group of 7 industrialized nations gathering in London, their first face-to-face meeting in more than 2 years, grappling with threats to health, prosperity, and democracy.
Host country Britain has warned that the increasingly aggressive activities of Russia, China, and Iran pose a challenge to democratic societies and the international rule of law. Top diplomats from the UK, the United States, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, and Japan are holding 2 days of talks with an agenda that includes the Tigray crisis in Ethiopia and the precarious situation in Afghanistan, where US troops and their NATO allies are winding down a 2-decade deployment. Zaria Shakili, London.
COVID-19 infections and deaths are mounting with alarming speed in India, with no end in sight to the crisis, and a top expert warning that the coming weeks in the country of nearly 1.4 billion people will be horrible. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. A Democrat push to make D.C. our 51st state. It's a Democrat roadblock in the Senate.
Democratic Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia says he opposes unilateral action by Congress to make the nation's capital a state. He says it needs to be done through a constitutional amendment. Earlier this month, the House approved a bill strictly along party lines to make the District of Columbia a state with one representative and 2 senators. Manchin's rejection shows the effort doesn't have the support of all Democrats in an evenly divided Senate. The bill appears stalled for now. Keith Peters, Washington.
Much of the South running the risk of severe weather again today after tornadoes struck parts of the region on Sunday night and yesterday, causing heavy damage. Large parts of Louisiana and Mississippi, Alabama and Tennessee, as well as corners of Arkansas and Georgia, are at enhanced risk for the worst weather later in the day. More on these stories at townhall.com.
The greatest comeback of all time is underway. Remember to shop local businesses. A reminder from Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
Swim into summer with the Pool Store of the Pines, a third-generation company with over 60 years of experience. The Pool Store of the Pines can make your summer season a success with a one-stop shop from pool construction, liner repair and replacement, to chemical supplies, professional water testing, and more. Let our professionals take care of all your pool needs so you can enjoy your pool this summer with family and friends and without any of the hassles. Visit us online at poolstoreofthepines.com or call us at 910-725-1003. That's 910-725-1003. Better yet, come visit us in person. We're located at 965 Old Highway 1 in Southern Pines. Pool Store of the Pines. We build and service the pool of your dreams. Call 910-725-1003 or online at poolstoreofthepines.com. Dealing with the aftermath of a car wreck can leave you feeling stressed. At Ken's Body Works in West End, you'll get collision repair services you can rely on. Family owned and operated for over 20 years, Ken's Body Works specializes in collision repair, body work, custom paint, dent removal, and much more. No job is too big or too small. Ken's certified technicians will have your vehicle back to its factory look and specifications. Call 910-235-0486 for a free estimate today. That's 910-235-0486.
Keeping the interior surfaces of your car clean has never been more important. So how do you sanitize your interior safely? Hey, it's Anthony from Champion Car Wash and Detail Shop with a pro detailer's tip. Logically, bleach, ammonia, Clorox wipes, or Lysol would be the best products to use inside your vehicle to clean and sanitize, right? However, these products are most often too harsh for the delicate surfaces of today's vehicles. So what can you use? Use a simple soap and water solution to clean the interior surfaces first. While it won't kill germs, it'll remove dirt, grime, and contaminants sitting on the surface. Afterward, you can use a 70% isopropyl alcohol solution sprayed on a microfiber towel, not directly on the surface, to wipe down the vehicle hot spots like your steering wheel, radio buttons, door handles, etc. A 70% isopropyl alcohol mix ensures maximum effectiveness of the sanitizing wipe down. As with any product you're going to use on your car, always be sure to test this on an inconspicuous spot to ensure color fastness and effectiveness in your own vehicle. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call Champion Car Wash and Detail Shop, 692-5060.
Being overweight is the #1 health problem in America today. It leads to so many avoidable health issues. If you have a weight problem and finally want to do something about it, then do what I did and participate in the Transforming You Weight Loss Program offered by Dr. Sharon Wright at Wright Chiropractic in Seven Lakes. It's a customized, physician-assisted program based on your body type and your goals. A healthier, more vibrant, spirited, and slimmer you emerges. Now, I lost 25 pounds in the first month and 50 pounds to date. That keeps me motivated. Now, the program is easy to follow. I'm Steve Leader Adams, and if I can do it, you can do it. Give Dr. Wright a call and set up your no-charge consultation about the Transforming You Weight Loss Program at 910-673-2225. That's Wright Chiropractic at 673-2225.
I really don't know anything about insurance except that I need it. I wasn't even sure I had the best coverage for my money. Was I glad I found FCIG, First Casualty Insurance Group in Southern Pines. They did a search among about 3 dozen different companies and found just what I needed. You know, if you haven't taken a look at your insurance in a while, maybe it's a good time to call FCIG, First Casualty Insurance Group, Southern Pines. 910-692-8303. 910-692-8303.
NCN News. I'm Mike Riley. A funeral was held yesterday for Andrew Brown Jr., a black man shot and killed by deputies in Pasquotank County. Attorneys for the family call for justice at the onset of the service. The invitation-only service Monday in a church in Elizabeth City follows public viewings a day earlier. The Reverend Al Sharpton delivered the eulogy.
This in Elizabeth City is disgraceful and shameful.
Cleanup this morning in the southeast following destructive winds, including possible tornadoes. CBS's Omar Villafranca has that.
We have seen power crews that are out and about this morning. They're already trying to pick up the poles. This is not really a grid issue at this point. It's physically with these tornadoes and the high winds that were coming through. Power poles were snapped in half, so now they're trying to get them back upright.
A federal health official says the FDA is expected to authorize Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine for kids as young as 12 in the upcoming days. Dr. Reginald Washington at Rocky Mountain Hospital for Children in Connecticut says it would be very helpful.
To reach herd immunity, we need a certain number of the general population, including this age group, to be vaccinated. Athletics, dances, and other gatherings are going to be safer if the majority of kids are vaccinated.
Hendersonville authorities say a white man accused of defacing a memorial honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. has been charged with ethnic intimidation. The police chief says Heath Justice was arrested after witnesses spotted him drawing on the image at a park. With the news that Apple is planning a major East Coast center in Wake County, observers will continue to watch to see the overall economic impact. North Carolina State University economics professor Dr. Mike Walden says the influx could lead to increased demand in key areas.
On both housing prices, real estate prices, as well as our transportation network. So we need to think about that. We need to plan for that. I mean, the easy solution to the housing is build more of it.
You're listening to NCN News.
If the power goes out for your business, are you prepared with a backup? Without electricity, security systems go down, refrigerated items spoil, and customers are turned away. In other words, your business loses money. Control your power. Control your business with a Generac automatic standby generator. Alternative Power is North Carolina's Generac generator experts. In fact, all Alternative Power does is provide backup power. Financing options are available. See more at alternativepower.com.
Do you have a frog? You know, the finished room over the garage? Now that everyone's at home, are you looking to convert your frog into an office, a schoolroom, or a more comfortable room to escape your family? With no ductwork required, a Mitsubishi electric mini split installed by one of our diamond contractors will have you comfortable in no time. Let's turn those hot, uncomfortable spaces in your house into spaces you and your family will enjoy. To learn more, text COOL-NC to 41300.
The impending divorce of Bill and Melinda Gates may or may not have far-reaching implications on their charitable foundation.
The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is one of the largest charitable organizations in the world, but for those who fear the divorce could derail it, this from one expert.
It's unlikely that either one of them would be happy to see it not continue to do the work that it does.
David Callahan is the founder of Inside Philanthropy and says it may mean a wider scope for giving. Peter King, CBS News.
The North Carolina Coastal Federation has released its 5-year action plan to restore and protect the state's oyster populations. Aaron Finkelstein with the North Carolina Coastal Federation says the plan includes new management strategies to help safeguard North Carolina's waters, particularly in the Newport River and Stump Sound.
Make sure that they are pristine and healthy to grow oysters, making it safe enough to harvest oysters from those beds, allowing for continued recreational opportunities.
The risk for severe weather continues today and tomorrow in North Carolina. Most of the state is under a level 1 risk for severe storms today. The main threats from storms would be damaging winds and hail. The U.S. is poised to enter the next phase in the vaccination rollout.
A federal health official tells CBS News that the FDA will soon authorize the use of Pfizer's vaccine in children ages 12 to 15. Pfizer recently announced trial results showing its vaccine is as effective in that age group as in adults, and study participants experienced few side effects.
It's a smart reopening. It's a measured reopening. It's a phased reopening.
In conjunction with neighboring states New Jersey and Connecticut, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo announced his state would lift most capacity limits in a little over 2 weeks.
Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
Late afternoon, early evening storms will be possible today. Some could be strong to severe. We do have a level 1 threat out of 5 in place for our area. High temperatures are going to head into the upper 80s and lower 90s. By tonight, we could see a few lingering showers. Temperatures will dip into the upper 60s and lower 70s. Tomorrow, the cold front will move through. We could see some storms ahead of it. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
And now for your Sandhills News. A 35-year-old Southern Pines man was arrested after stealing an airport trash truck and crashing it into a building at Pittsburgh International Airport on Friday evening, according to a news release from Allegheny County Police Department. A criminal complaint said the man had a blood alcohol level of 0.235%. According to the complaint, Harry Griffith was charged with recklessly endangering another person, harassment, ethnic intimidation, criminal mischief, theft by unlawful taking, unauthorized use of automobiles, and driving under the influence. The Southern Pines Police Department has recognized outstanding performance for 2 of its police officers, according to the Southern Pines Police Chief Nick Poldori. On April 27th, the Southern Pines Police Department's Awards Committee met to consider peer and leadership team nominations for employees who performed in an exemplary manner during the first quarter of 2021. The 2 awards recipients that have been recognized for the hard work and dedication they put forth on a daily basis to serve the community. Officer Steve Westman earned an Employee of the Quarter and Life-Saving Medal, and Officer William Byloff earned the Chief's Letter of Recognition. And that's your WEEB local news this morning from Sandhills Sentinel. Go online to sandhillssentinel.com for more information.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. Sebastian Aho scored twice in the second period on the way to a hat trick, and he helped the Carolina Hurricanes beat the Chicago Blackhawks 5-2 and eliminate them from the postseason. Carolina's on a 4-game win streak, and they've earned at least 1 point in each of their last 11 games. They won 8 of those. And throughout the season, head coach Rod Brindamore has talked about their successes and the games they've won, often not playing out as they were drawn up or planned. But last night's game was a fairly complete performance all around. Good defense, excellent offense and special teams, and the top line did what it was paid to do, score goals.
You know, we had our moments where it wasn't right, and the funny thing was it ended up in our net. Like, we you know, it's a good lesson. You know, we have to do it right all the time because you just never know, especially a team like Chicago with the talent they have. They can make you pay. So, but yeah, I mean, it's you know, it's all about sharpening up. Like, we got to stay razor sharp here and, you know, find a way to keep getting better. I mean, that's just how it is.
The Hurricanes, who entered this game leading the race for the President's Trophy, that goes to the league's best regular season record. But Brindamore over the weekend said that is the most useless trophy in all of sports. He doesn't want that one. There's only one that they're thinking about. The Philadelphia 76ers have stretched their lead in the NBA's Eastern Conference to 1 game over Brooklyn by knocking off the Bulls in Chicago. Tobias Harris scored 21 points and Seth Curry added 20 as the Sixers earned their 5th win straight, 106-94. Tonight, the Hornets look to rebound from Sunday's loss to Miami when they go against the Pistons. The Hornets beat them 3 nights ago and will go against them again tonight in Detroit. Orlando Magic coach Steve Clifford has been cleared through the NBA's COVID-19 protocols and will return to the bench tomorrow night against Boston. The former Hornets coach missed the past 5 games after testing positive for the virus last month while he was between his first and second doses of a vaccine. This is NCN Sports.
Are you looking for something unusual or hard to find? You might just find it on highbid.com. It's the online auction site for, well, just about everything. Highbid.com has estate sales, closeouts, liquidations, even government-seized vehicle auctions. It's easy to bid on office furniture, antiques, sports memorabilia, restaurant equipment, motorboats, even arcade games. You can search for items by name or simply see where the next page takes you. Visit highbid.com. That's HIBID.com and find out what you're looking for today.
Veterans fought for us. Now let's fight for them. More than 12,000 North Carolina veterans are caught in the coverage gap without any affordable options for health insurance. Care for Carolina is committed to providing affordable insurance options and access to care. Covering the uninsured means better health insurance value for all by lowering costs for everyone.
Go to care4carolina.com to help close the coverage gap now. That's care4carolina.com. Care for Carolina, expanding access, enhancing prosperity.
Bills quarterback Josh Allen and linebacker Tremaine Edmonds are staying around for at least 2 more seasons. Buffalo exercised the 5th-year options of both players' contracts and retained the 2018 first-round draft picks through the 2022 season. The move comes at a combined price of about $36 million, with Allen set to make nearly $23 million in that 5th year. 3-time Indianapolis 500 winner Bobby Unser died of natural causes at his home in Albuquerque, New Mexico on Sunday. Unser and his younger brother Al are 2 of just 10 drivers to earn 3 Indy 500 wins, with Bobby doing it in 1968, 1975, and 81. Unser was one of 6 members of the Unser family to race the Indy 500. He was 87 years old. Josh, Zach, NCM.
We're proud to be working with our local businesses for the greatest comeback of all time.
Come together.
With Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
Are you frustrated with the high cost of your health insurance? Are you tired of paying high premiums and high deductibles? And have you ever wondered if there are any other health care plans available? Well, Deep River Insurance offers alternatives to the Affordable Care Act. These health care options could save you 30% or more. Enrollment is open year-round, and you can cancel your current plan anytime. These plans are available for small businesses, self-employed, families, and individuals. Our plans can be customized to meet your specific needs, so let us help you cut through the confusion. Call Deep River Insurance today at 910-948-3081 to see if this is right for you. Your health insurance doesn't have to cost more than your mortgage, so you owe it to yourself to at least check it out. 910-948-3081. Deep River Insurance, providing simple solutions for your peace of mind. 910-948-3081. Or visit our website at deepriverinsurance.com.
Carolina Air Comfort and Safety, because we care. Clean, professional heating and cooling. Carolina Air, the friendly guys. Service, installation, and regular maintenance. Unbeatable, dependable every time. So CarolinaAir.com. Carolina Air Comfort and Safety, because we care.
Warmer weather is on the way, but don't sweat it. Carolina Air has got you covered with our extensive 32-point inspection, so you can prepare for the summer months ahead. Your HVAC system needs regular maintenance to keep it performing at its best, so go online to CarolinaAir.com or call 910-684-3864. That's 910-684-3864.
Carolina Air Comfort and Safety, because we care.
Aaron Cooper here with Cooper Ford, your only locally owned Ford dealer in Moore County. All of us here at Cooper Ford are proud to announce we have been awarded the Elite President's Award by Ford Motor Company. Presented to only 10% of all dealers nationwide for excellence in both sales and service customer satisfaction. Treating others the way we want to be treated is how we do business here at Cooper Ford. Located in the heart of Moore County and only minutes from anywhere. So please come see us here in beautiful Carthage or visit us on the web at cooperford.net. And as always, working really hard to be your hometown dealer.
From the WEEB Community Calendar.
Moore County parents, the Education First Alliance of Moore County will be holding a parent boot camp to learn what's happening with critical race theory in the Moore County school system. They will be running that boot camp on the 6th of May at 7 p.m. in the Southern Pines Civic Club. That's Thursday, 6 May at 7 p.m. Learn what you can do to stop critical race theory in the Moore County schools. The event will be free, but you need to register. Go to www.edfirstnc.org/parent-bootcamp. That's www.edfirstnc.org/parent-bootcamp.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
Pride Plumbing is proud to serve Moore County with superior workmanship and dependable plumbing service, including 24/7 emergency service. Like the name says, we take pride in our work and your safety. Our employees must pass background and drug tests and share Pride Plumbing's reputation for quality service. From simple leaky faucets to new water heaters and sewer lines, backflow testing and installation, drain cleaning, plumbing repairs, and, if necessary, replacement and remodeling. A family business with over 50 years of prideful service. Go online to callprideplumbing.com and check out our 5-star customer reviews. We offer a 10% discount to all veterans and active military. Call Pride Plumbing of Moore County at 910-295-0152. 910-295-0152. Serving with pride since 1965.
This is Dr. Terry Ann Sams of Sandhills Weekend Dental. I know some of you are overdue for a cleaning and checkup, and we are excited to welcome a new dental hygienist to our team. Her name is Katie. I can't wait for you to meet her. Give us a call. We are here Wednesdays through Saturdays at 910-687-4423 or visit sandhillsweekenddental.com. 910-687-4423.
At Sandhills Collision Center in Seven Lakes, we proudly serve all your automotive repair, auto body restoration, and collision repair needs. With our brand new state-of-the-art cheap straightening system and eco-friendly AmeriCure paint booth, you can rest assured that your vehicle, boat, or RV will receive top-notch repair and flawless paint jobs. And for all you aviators, we do aircraft body repair too. Sandhills Collision Repair Center is veteran-owned and offers a 5% discount to our military family. We give free estimate and accept all insurance and self-pay. All our ATECs will provide superior customer service from start to finish because we are committed to quality and prompt expert service. Bring your automobile, boat, or RV by today for a free quote at 135 Village View Drive in Seven Lakes. That's just 2 minutes from the Food Lion on Seven Lakes Drive. Or call us at 910-673-AUTO. That's 673-AUTO. Sandhills Collision Center, because you deserve the best.
American Water Treatment has grateful customers, and this is one of them, Allison Burlingame in Southern Pines. Allison, what was the problem that caused you to call American Water Treatment?
After a water analysis purchasing our farm, they were able to give me an economical and corrective solution to adjusting the water quality at my home.
So how did that work out?
Great. The water quality in my home is better than the bottled water from the store. My laundry is cleaner, my skin and hair is softer. I've even become a bit of a water snob because I prefer to bottle my own water at home, which saves me time and money. I would not hesitate to recommend American Water Treatment to anyone who has issues with their water.
Call American Water Treatment at 910-944-3140 and ask for the Water Guys, or check the yellow pages under water. 910-944-3140.
As our economy gradually reopens, remember to support local.
Know you're doing the right thing and stay proud.
Be a part of the greatest comeback of all time with Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
The Zumwalt Zone is brought to you by Quality Built Homes, the Sandhills' #1 home builder, developer, and remodeler. With over 1,500 homes built in Moore County, we earn our name every day. Quality Built Homes, 910-944-7453.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. Well, I guess everyone on Earth knows that Bill and Melinda Gates are getting a divorce. That's not cause for celebration, but it happens. What will they do now? One writer wrote, "There's no need to wonder how Melinda will spend her money. If history serves, she'll spend it uplifting women." Well, isn't that good? Now look, Bill's worth $130 billion, so think about it. If Melinda got the most unbelievable divorce attorney on earth and she got $129 billion, that leaves Bill with $1 billion. I think he's going to be okay. In 2018, he made $33 million a day. I think I could make it on that. In Melinda's book, she used herself and Bill to illustrate the pressures that working mothers are under and the unpaid labor they're forced to take on. She wrote about how she and Bill divided their own labor while raising their kids. Oh, I'm not positive Melinda gets the real world definition of working mother. When you have $33 million a day rolling in, dividing the household labor is not nearly as big a problem as when your husband's left you and you're working 2 jobs just to pay the rent. Well, I'm glad for their wealth. They're supporting a lot of people, and they give a lot of money away. It's a little presumptuous to think that they understand the real world. I don't think they know or even really care about everyday life and everyday people. I sure as heck do, and hope all of you have a good day. From the Zumwalt Zone.
Late afternoon and early evening storms will be possible, and some of those could be strong to severe, bringing damaging wind speeds and hail. We are likely to see high temperatures head into the upper 80s and lower 90s today. Lingering showers possible tonight, with temperatures dipping into the upper 60s and lower 70s. Tomorrow is going to be a warm one with highs in the low to mid 80s. A few afternoon storms cannot be ruled out. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills' #1 morning show. Mornings with the LeaderMan. Here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
What day is it?
Today is May 4th, which means
You must face Darth Vader again.
Star Wars Day. Nerd alert! Nerd alert! May 4th.
It's Star Wars.
Hey guys, happy Star Wars Day. Okay, my friends.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
It's showtime.
Good morning, Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. You're listening to Mornings with the LeaderMan, and I'm Dorothy, and I'm taking his seat for the week. It is Tuesday, and it means it's time for the Hensley Report. Even though it's May Day, we'll go on and we'll talk to see how Hensley, how Star Wars knowledgeable are you? Helps if I turn your microphone on, that way people can hear you.
It's May the 4th.
Yeah.
Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Really? Okay.
No, I can't hear you.
I can't hear myself, so...
Well, that's because John always turns it down for some.
Okay. So you got some Star Wars trivia for me?
Not really. I was trying to find some, and their Star Wars trivia is just meh.
Yeah. Well, I can get right into school board stuff.
I'll say we can skip the Star Wars trivia. I'm pretty sure the nerds out there are going to hate me, but those non-Star Wars loving nerd folks are going to love me for this, because there's more interesting things going on the school board. And of course, Jeff is still with me this hour, so he can put his 2 cents worth. John skipped out on it.
Hopefully you got your coffee and your apple fritters. Dorothy has apple fritters.
I have apple fritters.
Speaking of apple fritters, right? More importantly than being Star Wars Day, this is Teacher Appreciation Week.
I was going to say, it's a Teacher Appreciation Week.
It's Teacher Appreciation Day. Everyone should go to Granny's Donuts and buy up all their apple fritters and take an apple fritter
Hopefully
to their
they can get
teacher.
some at this hour.
Yeah, they'll be sold out by
I'll say
8:30.
it is 8:30.
But anyway, it's Teacher Appreciation Week.
Find out what your teacher can need in her classroom, and
take them a big gift basket or something, because our teachers do
just
a wonderful
what we need
job.
to do, pump up our teachers with sugar, because
because
they have to keep up with those kids.
right,
sugaring,
keep them awake.
Sugaring
cola,
Jolt Cola and apple fritters, I think.
There you go. That'll keep them bouncing off the walls. The teachers, that is. So what you got going on this week?
So I was going to do some preparation for this show, and then I realized I didn't have to. I just kind of printed out the agenda for yesterday's meeting and thought we'd just go through it. So I got a big stack of stuff, and we'll talk about things as I shuffle through it. What's that?
Yeah,
I'm not close enough?
There you go.
There we go.
Now
okay.
you can hear yourself, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's amazing how that works. Gosh, I'm sitting there flipping through the stuff. So anyway, I'll just start off with... the ESSER funds, the COVID relief funds that we have, a couple things about that. That's the first thing we talked about, and we voted to approve the superintendent's recommendation. Of course, we had a special session on it, the infamous special session last week.
Right.
But anyway, This is a great deal. Moore County Schools is going to get about $25 million in COVID 2 and COVID 3 relief money. And the interesting thing is we're taking about 50% of it, more than 50% of it, and we're going to spend it on capital projects.
All right.
And actually, out of this 25 million, 11 million is going to go to capital projects. But then, more importantly, that displaces $5.7 million that we already approved on capital projects. So really, we're going to spend, that is a cumulative of 12, 17 point some odd million. So we're going to be able to fix a lot of our capital stuff.
That's great.
And I am glad that we're applying that. We've got to, I think we're going to put a proposal together for the county commissioners that, I got to wait and see the final proposal, but I support it kind of in its infancy. But we could take this extra $5.7 million, and one thing that's on our unfunded list is modernization of all the gyms throughout Moore County.
All right.
And take all the school gyms, replace the roofs, put in double pane thermal windows, and put in HVAC, because the gyms in North Moore don't have air conditioning.
Go. Yes, my wife was bitterly complaining about a gym with no AC.
Yeah, well, so we can fix the leaks and get them AC. And I got to look at this. I've been busy with my real job, but I think that we will be pretty close if the county commissioners. I think by the end of this exercise, within a couple months, we'll be able to say, look, we've got caught up on that $130 million, or at least we can see the light at the end of the tunnel of that unfunded $130 million unfunded
capital improvements.
So anyway, more on that later. But the ESSER funding is huge. The other part that we're using it for, and this is very, very, very important, is we're having the Power Up Summer School. And there's a lot of confusion about. So the state legislature mandated that we use at least 20% of the ESSER funding, or the COVID funding, to do remedial learning things and catch up.
Right.
And we're doing a lot of things. We're putting teacher assistants in all the second grade classes next year. We're hiring some additional people to make up for learning loss. And there's a lot of things that the central office is doing to make up for learning loss, one of which is summer school. A lot of confusion out there, and I'm going to explain the way summer school is going to work, and then I'm going to explain the cause of the confusion. So summer school, the elementary and middle school summer school is going to be from June 7th through July 22nd. I'll say that again. June 7th through July 22nd for middle school and elementary school. For high school, it's going to be June 14th through July 29th.
Okay.
So I think that's 6 weeks. They're taking 1 week off. The week of 4th of July, they'll take off. School is going to be, for elementary and middle school, summer school is going to be 7:30 a.m. to 2:30. And for high school, it's going to be 8:30 to 3:30. Meals will be provided, so there'll be full breakfast and lunch, whatever they do, and transportation. The buses will be running. This is awesome that they're doing this summer school. But you have to be qualified. So here's what they're doing, and here's why there's a lot of confusion. What Moore County, what the central office did, and I like this approach, is they budgeted for X amount of summer school, X number of seats, right?
Okay.
And they're given priority of the seats to at-risk children.
All right.
So they've identified at-risk children in Moore County schools, and they've sent letters and emails out to all those parents with applications. So the first dibs of this summer school capacity is going to go to at-risk children. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then any excess capacity is going to be first come, first serve.
Okay.
So, that's a good approach, and I like that approach. So let's talk about at risk. So to be at risk, in order to get first dibs at high school summer school, you have to meet one of two tests: failing a course needed to graduate, or failure of 2 or more elective courses.
Okay.
Grades 6 through 8 if you're not currently passing science, reading, or math. And same thing, grades through 4 and 4 and 5 and grades K through 3, if you are behind grade level on reading, it looks like read to achieve, then you're eligible for summer school.
Okay.
So, that is a good criteria. Now, here's the bad news, right? So, keeping in mind, to be eligible as at risk at high school, you have to be failing 2 or more courses or a core class. That's 25% of our high school students. That's what a disaster remote learning was. To be eligible 5 through 7, you have to be not currently passing science, reading, or math. That's 28% of our middle schoolers. And to be eligible for elementary, you have to not be reading at grade level or, on this test. That's a whopping 35% of our elementary school students. That is not an indictment of our teachers. That is not an indictment of our staff. That is an indictment of the failure of remote learning. 35% of our elementary students, we knew that everyone knew. You didn't have to be an educator to know that remote learning would be difficult, and it would be especially difficult on our elementary students. Well, there you go. There's the number, 34%.
Do you have enough seats to cover that number?
Yeah, that's what they planned for. They planned capacity.
Based on those
planned
numbers.
capacity for 100% of these.
Okay.
And then, not all parents. I mean, I'm hopeful that all parents will get their students in here.
Giving them the opportunity is what counts. They have the opportunity to get their kids in there. And there's going to be somebody who can't do it for some reason, understand that, but there it is. You have the opportunity to get your kid some help if they need it.
Yep. So, and another point, in addition, so that 35% of our elementary kids are behind because of remote learning. So, in addition, so they have this summer school opportunity. I hope there's 100% attendance of these at-risk students. But in addition to that, next year we're going to have teacher assistants in every set. We are. And this was a central office's recommendation, wasn't my idea, for the relief. They're really focusing efforts in the elementary schools because that's where the children fell the most behind.
Yeah, and that's the most important place. That's where kids are going to develop their learning habits, etc. And if you miss them there, it's really tough. It's tough to catch them up.
So they'll be establishing a dedicated page on the Moore County website for information on summer school. And I don't have it just because they didn't publish it, but there's a dedicated email address and phone number that the central office will be publishing where parents can find out more information.
Then we need to
school.
talk about that on the radio a little bit frequently, I think, just to make sure people hear it and understand that it's out there for them. Because if you've been notified and you have a child that's behind or hasn't taken to the remote learning, then please get especially the youngest kids in particular, because you got to develop those learning habits and those your brain function, etc., to understand reading and equations and math.
Elementary school is the most important.
That's huge.
I've always believed that. That's why I've always invested with my donations and whatnot to early childhood education. So let's move on to Sandhills Community College Board of Trustees. An action item or a discussion item on yesterday's work session was to appoint a new board member to the Sandhills Community College Board of Education. So just so people, just to give background to everyone, Moore County Schools gets to nominate 4 people to the Sandhills Community College Board of Trustees. The county commissioners get to nominate 4 people, and the governor gets to nominate, I think, 4 people. I'm not exactly sure. So at least the ones we nominate serve a 4-year term. So every year the school board nominates someone. So when I sat down in my chair yesterday, their plan was, there's a gentleman, I've never met him, by the name of Gary Evans, whose term expires this year. Their plan was just to renominate him, and we were going to vote on him. That was exactly what I thought. I've never, this guy, this guy may
for the
be
record,
great.
I'm shaking my head no.
Right. And look, I've never seen his resume. I've never met him, and they expected me to vote and I'm like, no, we are not going to rubber stamp anyone on this board. This is important.
Yes.
What we're going to do Well, first of all, let's go through the people that we've nominated, right? George Little, who lives in number 9. So we've got Pinehurst number 9 gated community golf club covered. Art Blue, Forest Creek gated country club. Connie Lovell, wonderful person, CCNC gated golf community. And Gary Evans, I'd never heard of him, so I looked him up, and he lives in Pinehurst. So it appears to me that that it's like the instead of being the community college, it's the country club college.
Yes,
because we certainly have the country club covered. But as I explained to my fellow board members, it's Moore County's community college, not a country club.
Yeah, well,
college.
MCCC, right? What's the CC stand
so
for?
I would like to see a little more diversity on the board, and maybe someone from North County. We rely on, I could go through the professions of these people, but the point is we rely on the community college to a large degree for Moore County Schools technical VOTEC.
Yes.
So I would like to see a tradesman on this board.
That would be nice.
Yeah. Why don't we go find somebody who started out in the trade, started a business, became an entrepreneur, became a successful entrepreneur,
a businessman. Go figure.
Understands the trades, and let's put that person on the board. But the point is, what we're going to do, and we voted to do this, and we're going to, they'll have a proposal next Monday, is we're going to put together a search committee, and we're going to solicit resumes, and we're going to get resumes, and we're going to interview people, and every board member is going to have an opportunity to interview the person they're going to vote for, and then we'll vote for a person. But
wow.
But the plan was, who's the current guy? Oh yeah, bring it. Okay, yeah, you'll do. I vote for him.
Don't make me think about this. That's good. That's right.
So anyway, we're actually going to do a search committee. And look, Mr. Evans we may renominate him. I don't know, but I want to see people in Moore County. I want to see resumes. Nick Paserno would be great. Maybe Nick will put. There's hundreds of people in this county that could apply for this position.
Well, like you say, there's a bunch of people there, that are in the trades that have successful businesses. I call them businessmen, but they're tradesmen. Yeah, there might be an idea to put one or two of them on there.
I am pretty sure that the swamp was surprised yesterday when I said, no, we're not just going to rubber stamp the current. And look, Sandhills Community College is doing wonderful things. They got that scholarship where Moore County high school seniors, the Sandhills Promise, where Moore County high school students can go to Sandhills Community College 2 years free of charge. Great. They're doing great things, but the fact of the matter is, I'm not going to vote for somebody just because they're currently there.
Right.
So anyway, we talked about critical race theory yesterday, and Bob Levy, who we all know, he put forth a policy on critical race theory. And I'm not going to, by the way, it really killed me because everyone was discussing how on the Encyclopedia Britannica, Britannica means like England, right? Britannia, right? And they quoted the Encyclopedia Britannica, and they kept saying they misspelled color, COLOUR.
Right.
Well, that's the British spelling, and it's kind of like the British, the Britannica. I really wanted to pull out my Latin and give them a lesson and origins of words. Then I realized that English is my second language because I grew up in Oklahoma, and I'm not going to lecture anyone on the origin of words. But anyway, so they kept saying, well, colors misspelled. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's how the Brits spell it. Anyway, so Bob Levy, and this is important, all joking aside, Levy put forth not a motion, but a policy, and we're going to vote on this next week. And it says critical race theory, we will not have a curriculum that's based upon critical race theory. But then the policy further goes on and says, look, age appropriate, you can discuss, this doesn't prohibit people from talking about critical race theory as an idea, much like we talk about Nazism. We
Right.
can compare it to Nazism. We can compare it to
comparative religions, comparative political, economic systems, etc.
Yeah, I'm just
compare the things.
Right,
yes.
right. And I'm just trying to think of things it's comparable to, communism under Stalin, maybe, Nazism under Hitler, Mao's Great Leap Forward.
Mm-hmm.
We can compare them to these other great socialist ideological thinking.
With great results.
Right,
That's
right. But it's not going to, critical race theory is not going to be the core of our curriculum.
Right.
And here's what's interesting. Ed Dennison, who I love, great guy, Navy vet, Stacy Caldwell, and Pam Thompson, I believe, have all said, and I think Libby Carter, I think all the incumbents, at least three of them, certainly Ed and Stacy, have said they are against critical race theory, but they're not going to vote for this policy banning critical race theory.
What sense does that make?
Well, so that's my point. Well, what they say, and this was said yesterday, well, we don't have it in our schools. It's not in our schools, so we don't need a policy banning it. Okay, first of all, yes, it is in our schools.
Yeah.
It's crept in. Two is it's coming. If it's
Right.
more and more, because the teachers, as they go to Raleigh and they get all this teaching from the North Carolina Associate of Educators, they're going to be pushing this crap down, and it's going to creep in. So the point is, it is not intellectually honest to say I'm 100% against critical race theory. It is not going to be in Moore County schools.
Right.
And then you say, oh, okay, here, vote for this policy that's legal and straightforward that says critical race theory will never be used as the basis for our education. Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. Well, then you're not really against it.
No, that's exactly right.
Unless you're willing to stand up and vote, I am against critical race theory, and it is not going to be the basis of our curriculum, then your words mean nothing.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They're lying.
I'll just
say it.
Yeah,
you didn't say it. I said it.
This is the new Dave Hensley, right? You're trying to back me into a corner. At least Steve's not here earlier when this morning's segment when John was like, Catherine. That's where Steve would, Murphy, and then he'd like say something against Catherine Murphy. And that's why John couldn't remember her name, because Steve wasn't here to like jump up out of his seat. And man, I've never seen him more animated than when her name comes up. Anyway, so my point is, everyone here needs to reach out to your school board member and make your thoughts on critical race theory known. Be polite. Look, wherever you fall, if you're for it, let people know. If you're against critical race theory, then let your school board members know. Vote for the implementation of this policy, because you can look, if you say you are against something, then vote for the policy that prevents it.
Right.
Otherwise, then you're not really against it.
Yeah, you're wasting my time.
Right. So anyway, moving on to the next thing. School sales. School sales continue to do well. The old Aberdeen. Yes, sir.
No, go ahead. No, I'm just waiting for you to hit the sales.
Oh, the Aberdeen primary sale. By the way, I was thinking about a drinking. If you go back and watch the school board meeting, you will be shocked at the number of times you hear fellow school board members, incumbents, say, I agree with David, or David is right. So we're going to do a drinking game at the next. This is going to be so good for the economy. We could all show up at Dugan's or the Beltry, right, and watch the school board meetings. Get rid of those sports. Who wants ESPN? We should start a sports bar where you watch the school board meetings, and we do a drinking game. Every time an incumbent school board member says, David, you're right, or David, I agree with you, then that's a shot.
Oh, there you go.
There we
All
go.
right.
Imagine how good that'll be for the economy.
Be careful with that. You don't want to encourage children to go drinking. I would suggest, shots of like espresso or something.
Yeah.
That way you go out with this great big caffeine high and can go get more work done.
Thank you for your input, Dorothy.
Hey, I'm just looking out for
yes,
you.
but yeah, no, the headline, the pilot headline will be Hensley supports DUIs.
See, I'm just trying to look out for you this year. We don't want any bad headlines.
Right.
Yes,
right.
binge drinker Hensley.
Right, Hensley advocating binge drinking.
So, just shots of coffee, that'll work. I mean, that might get you the same effect after a couple of espresso shots, depending on how strong they are.
So, Aberdeen Primary School. I have to plug Aberdeen Primary School because I was right on this. That property that is off of 211.
Right.
Keep in mind when the North Carolina Department of Transportation finishes widening 211.
Yes.
That school will be road front property and it's 10 acres or whatever. And you'll be able to drive in your car from route. That's the last. When they finish that last stretch from Rayford to Route 1 that goes in front of my corporate headquarters, by the way, you'll be able to drive, you'll be able to get off an exit on 95 and drive all the way to Aberdeen on a 4-lane divided highway.
Wow.
That property is going to be worth a fortune.
Yes, it is.
And a few forward-leaning people see that and are bidding on it. The bid started out at $150,000. Is now up to $421,000.
Yes.
Twice the estimate, by the way. I think the appraisal on this was whatever. Anyway, I personally, so it's between Drain the Swamp LLC and Network Commerce Association. So Network Commerce Association is currently ahead by $421,000. I personally am rooting for. I don't have a dog in this fight, other than this should be. We should do side bets on this,
sure,
right?
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to Drain the Swamp LLC stepping up and placing the next bid.
What a great name.
I know, right? Gee, I wonder who's behind that.
Yeah.
That's who we ought to nominate. If we ought to nominate, I hope Ron Jackson ought to apply to be on the Sand Hills Community College
trustees.
Board trustees.
Yeah, he'd be good.
He's a tradesman, successful businessman.
Builder, yes.
Yeah,
throughout the county.
In an application. Yeah. Moving on with school sales, so we closed the deal on Southern Pines Elementary School last week. Moore Montessori Community School is now the proud owner of the former Southern Pines Elementary campus.
Yeah. Did you have the caveats in there?
They did.
Yes,
If that property. I don't want to go in the details, but suffice it to say that Moore Montessori, as long as they keep the property and use the property for education, everything's going to be great. But if they start trying to make money off the property, or if they sell property, effectively Moore County Schools gets all the profit from that.
Right.
So there's great, strong protections built in there.
As it should be.
They got a wonderful deal on that property. It's going to be a great community asset. Eventually, there's going to be 700 students there. It will save Moore County taxpayers, $35-40 million from having to build another school, right?
Yes.
We repurpose that school so that we, as the student population grows here, we won't have to build another 700 student school. Moore Montessori is going to do that for us.
Right.
So then we have Aberdeen Elementary School. That's the property on Route 1. It looks like the board has to vote on that, but it looks like Aberdeen, the town of Aberdeen, wants to buy it. So it looks like we may go into private negotiations with them and get the full value out of it. It's appraised at $1.3 million. And look, town of Aberdeen, if you're listening, it's a steal at that, and that's the price. We can negotiate on other stuff. We can talk about timing. We can talk about paying it out over time, and all that. But look, the price is $1.3 million. We are constitutionally obligated to get that. And at $1.3 million, it's a block or two away from Aberdeen Lake. It's got that pedestrian tunnel under Route 1.
Yes.
It's 16 acres. There's the buildings up top. Aberdeen can have a theater. Aberdeen can have a gym. Aberdeen can have that academic building.
There's a lot they could do there.
Then they got all those lower ball fields, and they could either sell that to a developer and put in high-density housing, which is great because high-density housing could walk to the lake. They could walk to the town core via that pedestrian. 1.3 million Aberdeen people is a steal, and the town of Aberdeen should jump on that. And then that leaves us with Southern Pines Primary. Southern Pines Primary, we've got all the zoning stuff going along. You know, the road right-of-ways are getting closed out. We're taking care of the cemetery issue. But Southern Pines Primary, land half a mile up the same road is selling for $1 million an acre now. You see all that development there in Morganton Park and those steel buildings? Land in that park, half a mile up the same road, is selling for $1 million an acre. So I have very, very high hopes for
a windfall there.
A windfall there.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Hey, let me say it. From the Moore County taxpayers, Moore County people, etc. Thank you for setting some standards here on the school board to get some value back for my tax dollars.
Well, you're welcome. We have all kinds of good stuff happening. We got academics. We're going to do an academic review coming up, and we got more than I can talk about. Dorothy, I need an 8-hour show.
Yeah, good luck with that one.
Anyway, thank you, everyone. More information next week, but it was a great school board meeting. Wonderful things are happening. I got to sit down and make a list. It's mind-boggling how many good things we have happening.
Well, thanks for coming in, David, and giving us that very thorough update. It's Tuesday. I hope everybody has a great day, and we'll be back here tomorrow.
And I'll see everyone at the cat park.
Come back, you'd better be laughing.
So, what have we learned? Heck, I don't know. But this is one crazy show. Bye now.
Cut! That's it. Go home, everybody. None of this ever happened.
Well, y'all come back now, you hear? I think we're through here.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much, man. That's pretty much all I got, man.
Okay, class dismissed. Rock on!
Well, let me tell you something. Everything comes to an end.
Broadcasting from the top of the North Carolina Sandhills, 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB Southern Pines